Second Ezra 16 and 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. I'm going to start off by saying all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS for teaching me this truth. Shalom to you, Akim, that's believing this truth, pushing this truth through the four winds of the earth. And shalom to you, very few sisters listening and learning in quietness. It's your brother Amath out of Jacksonville, Florida, back at it with another one. So, you know, um, it's been in my spirit for like, I say probably like a week or two now to do a video on this. I just never had really the time to get around to it, but hey, we got to make time for Yahweh Shem Shai. Hey, so let me get this other precept, and then we're just going to go right into what I have in this video. It says Matthew 24 and 17 through 18. It's in the English Standard Version. It says, let the one who is on the housetop not go down to take what is in his house, and let the one who is in the field not turn back to take his cloak. Right. So, you know, the times that we're coming into, man, you're not going to have time, you get what I'm saying, to go back to your house, you know, pack your bag, you know, get you some clothes. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty much going to be left with what you have, whatever you got on, you know, because you can be at work. You left the bag at home, your family at home. Scripture tells you, hey, don't go back to the house because you don't know what you're going into. You don't know what you're going back to, you know? And so, you know, these are trying times that we get ready to come into, you know? So, you know, it was on my spirit to do a video of, you know, things that you can eat. Not saying that we're not relying on Yahweh Shah Shah, because, hey, he can just make food appear out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You know, have one of the brothers, one of the angels, one of our brothers, hey, put a basket of bread over here. Hey, tell you, hey, go over there, look behind there, boom, you know. But at the same time, since we're here, you know, these are some of the things that, you know, as far as what we use with our eyes that we see. If you see this stuff along your journey, hey, you can have it in your, you know, in your heart. You remember it. Hey, I remember about watching a video of this, you know, that, hey, we can eat this, we can eat that, because you might be, hey, our faith is going to be tested, man. How about Sharon Shah is going to test our faith and see how much we really love him, how much we really want him. You get what I'm saying? And you can't be weak, you can't be feeble, you know, because you might get out there, you might last off of one piece of bread, you might last off of you know, a scoop of rice, you know, a handful of, you know, peanuts. You don't know. We don't know. You get what I'm saying? We just praying to Yahweh Shem Shai that, hey, Lord willing, he just deliver us, you know, see us all the way through, you know. But along that journey, it don't hurt to, you know, learn what's in nature, things that we can eat. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. Let me get this video I have. Let me see. I'm gonna play it all the way to the end.
Number 1, white and red clover. Some people know about using red clover to make syrups, but you can also consume the white variety of this common and easily identifiable plant. The entire above ground part of the plant is edible. The dry leaves and flowers have a slight hint of vanilla to them. Once you learn to recognize clover, with its shamrock-like leaves, you'll see it everywhere. Identify this one from the flowers until you know what you are looking for. It does look a little like wood sorrel, which is also edible, but should only be consumed in smaller amounts because of its medicinal properties. Number 2, daisies. The greens and petals can be eaten and have medicinal purposes as well. Now, they're somewhat bitter. Daisies have anti-inflammatory and mild astringent properties and have been used internally in tea form as an herbal remedy for the common cold, bronchitis, and other inflammation of the upper respiratory tract. In folk medicine, it was often recommended to eat the fresh leaves to stimulate nutrition uptake due to the bitter substances found in the herb. The fresh leaves, flowers, buds, and petals have a pleasant taste and can be used in salads or added to soups. Furthermore, the flower heads can be used in vinegar and as a substitute for capers. Number 3, dandelions. Probably this one is the most identifiable of any plant on this list. There are some medicinal effects of this plant. It is said to help the liver remove toxins, and it has a diuretic quality. The entire plant is edible. Younger leaves are less bitter than older ones. The roots can be roasted and ground as a coffee like substitute. The flowers can be eaten raw, tossed into a salad, or sauteed. Number 4, purslane. You likely have walked right by this plant in hundreds of lawns. The first time I saw it was at a farmer's market the same week I pulled a bunch out from my lawn while weeding. I remember thinking I could have eaten these. In fact, it is widely eaten throughout Europe, Asia, and the Middle East and Africa. It's an annual succulent with a slightly sour and salty taste, making it an interesting addition to the plate and palate. The entire plant, including the leaves, stems, flowers, and seeds, are edible and have been used for thousands of years in different variations. Number 5, roses. Everyone can identify roses, so it's a good one for our list. The petals can be eaten, however. The rose hips, the fruit of the rose that appears after the flowers drop, are actually a better source of vitamin C than an orange. Unfortunately, most roses get harvested and clipped back before getting to this stage, but in the wild or after a long period of non-maintenance, rose hips would be in abundance. One rose hip has the equivalent vitamin C of 8 oranges. It has the equivalent vitamin A of 21 oranges. The rose hips can also be dried and powdered. Number 6, wild grapes. Grapes are a vine that can grow throughout the United States. Some vines in the wild can grow up to 50 feet in length. Now, right off the vine, they are more tart than store-bought grapes. The leaves can be blanched and eaten as well. Remember foraging rules and be sure to leave plenty behind for the animals who have been eating off of that vine for many years before you showed up. Number 7, cattail. Yes, cattail can be eaten. You can eat the shoots and stalks raw, but they're better fried. They have a mild asparagus flavor. The seed heads can be harvested for pollen, which can be added to flour. The roots can be mashed in water and dried to produce a flour. It's versatile and grows in many lakes and along most rivers. Number 8, kudzu. If you live in the South United States, you know this invasive plant. The flowers, leaves, and roots are all edible. The roots, like the cattails mentioned previously, can be mashed and dried to make a starch called Japanese arrowroot. Note that the seeds and pods are not edible parts of the kudzu plant. Number 9, aloe vera. The succulent aloe vera is 99% water. Doesn't have much taste, which are 2 great reasons to seek it out in the wild arid regions. When applied to the skin, it blocks 20% of harmful UV rays, so it hydrates and protects from the sun. The very viscous gel can also be used to shave or soothe irritated skin. Number 10, prickly pear cactus. Also known as nopales, Spanish for paddles, this large cactus is very distinguishable from other cactuses. The needles can be burnt off and scraped with a knife, and the soft center eaten. This is also what they make cactus candy out of. The reddish fruit can easily be gathered and eaten later. It has a sweet but subtle flavor. Number 11, milk thistle. With large purple pincushion flowers and soft prickly leaves, the milk thistle is hard not to notice. You'll need thick gloves and a knife or scissors to harvest the leaves. Ounce for ounce, thistles come out higher in fiber, protein, phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, copper, zinc, and other nutrients than most typical vegetables. Once you strip the spines off, you can eat them raw. A relative to the artichoke, the smaller unopened flower head can be eaten the same way. Number 12, stinging nettle. Anything with stinging in the name can't be good, right? Actually, the stinging nettle gets its name because the leaves have tiny barbs that can irritate the skin. It makes a list here because it is easily recognizable, it has a decent nutritional profile, and for the anti-inflammatory quality of the plant. Blanch the leaves in boiling water. Number 13, sunflower. The 2 best things about sunflowers are, first, that the entire plant is edible from root to stalk to leaves to the all too familiar seed. The second best thing is that the sunflowers grow with incredible ease. They just need soil, sun, and a regular watering, and they grow like crazy. Number 14, acorns. Acorns have been eaten by indigenous Americans as early as recorded history. They are very tannic, so the green acorns can be boiled and drained. Indigenous people would grind dried acorn into flour and soak them in a running stream for a few days to release the tannins. The result is a very nutritious flour. In Southern California, you can easily find holes formed from smashing and grinding the acorns in boulders beneath large California native oak trees, especially where there is also running water. Number 15, fiddlehead fern. Fiddleheads or fiddlehead greens are the furled fronds of a young fern harvested for use as a vegetable. It is abundant in the Pacific Northwest. Saute them with a little butter and wild garlic. These coiled tips of ferns are the yet to spring leaves. They have a slightly nutty flavor. Number 16, coyote melon. From California through Texas, the coyote melon is edible and grows in abundance in some areas. It resembles a fist-sized watermelon, with a harder rind and more spear tip-like leaves. The first time you find one, you'll end up probably turning to the person next to you to ask if they use deodorant. It stinks like body odor. The indigenous people called it the coyote melon because they reasoned that only a coyote would dare to eat it. Like I said, it's edible, and if you need to eat to survive, don't walk by it. Number 17, lotus flower. The Asian lotus flower is now somewhat common to ponds across America. The root is edible and loaded with starch. It is similar to a crunchy potato, so it fries up very well. Number 18, amaranth. Amaranth is very recognizable by its very long, conical purple flowers. The seeds are about the size of sesame seeds and can be eaten dried or raw. They are packed with calcium and protein. The leaves can be stir-fried as well. Considered a weed, it grows quite well in the wild in many climates. Number 19. Wild leeks or ramps are a spring ephemeral, which means the leaves appear before the leaves on the trees appear. This makes them easier to spot. You can get the same flavor from just a leaf, so try to just clip one leaf from a two-leaf plant and remember where the ramp patch is for the future. Number 20.
You've got too much on your plate to worry about what to put on it next.
Or wild garlic. The real advantage to the allium family is that they are easily identifiable both by sight and by taste. They are very bold in flavor, and you can find them growing throughout the country. 21. Morels. As with all mushrooms, consult someone more of an expert than you before consumption. There are a lot of toxic varieties and lookalikes, so make sure you know what you're eating. There are also a great many edible varieties. I only included the morel here because there aren't many mushrooms with such a distinctive honeycomb head. This makes it, in my opinion, the most recognizable. 22. Coneflower. More commonly known today as echinacea, modern herbalists claim it boosts immunity. Native Americans have used it for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. The leaves and flower petals are edible. You can also dry the whole plant and break it up for tea. 23. Wild blackberries and raspberries. If you live in one of the cooler climate zones where wild blackberries and raspberries grow, you probably grab these right off the vine. I include them in the list here because they are so recognizable. Some people just have to go out looking more carefully to find them. The blackberry leaf can be made into tea or used for a poultice for wounds. 24. Pine trees. The nuts and needles of pine trees are actually edible, refreshing, nutritious, and somewhat minty in flavor. Pine nuts have more calories than peanuts. If you've ever put up a tent under or near a pine tree at the right part of the year, and you were probably bombarded in a rain shower of bits of pine cones as squirrels dug out these little nuts. The needles can be steeped in hot water to make a refreshing tea. Number 25. Mulberry trees. Resembling a blackberry in shape, the mulberry can be white, lavender, or purplish black in color. A full-grown old mulberry tree is a thing of beauty with enough berries to feed every bird and every human for miles around. You're lucky if you find one of these. It's a favorite of silkworms, and the berries can easily become one of your favorites. That's my 25. Remember the rules and guidelines for foraging in a healthy and sustainable way. Get a book and set a goal for yourself to use one plant per week. In this way, if you find yourself in desperate need, you will be equipped with the knowledge and know-how to find the plants, process, and prepare them for consumption. There's so many books that have plants for the common to obscure.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that much. Pine cone. I don't know about the pine cones, y'all. I don't know about the pine cones, but hey. Hey. So at the end of the day, hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'll probably try to like rotate these lessons here, like stuff far as with nature, into my lessons as well. I feel like the spirit been on me to do that as well. So I'll probably start rotating that into my lessons as well. So if this video was helpful, you know, brothers and sisters, let me know in the comment section. So with that being said, I pray you was edified. Hey, shalom.